Hi everyone. A very good evening and welcome to today's webinar and Ask Me Anything session with me, Sahil Puri and Tony, who is our solution expert from TestGear. So the agenda of today's webinar is to discuss a little bit about continuous testing and its major objectives, introduce us to the world of test management and its related challenges, especially when combined with test automation. And then when we will see how adopting the right set of practices and tools like TestGear can help us in improving the entire team's productivity and efficiency. And finally, we will have our Ask Me Anything session about quality, test management, continuous testing from me and Tony. So without further delay, let's start the session. First and foremost, let's break the ice. Hi everyone, I'm Sahil Puri, having 10 years of experience in software testing. I'm currently working as an engineering manager for quality engineering team in a growing startup company. Now, the thing that keeps me close to this role is the love and passion for quality and end user experience. Apart from work, I am also into content creation. You can find some of my work on YouTube, Medium, and LinkedIn handles. Now, moving forward, I would really like to request Tony to introduce himself to all of us present here today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sahil. Hello, everyone. As Sahil already shared, my name is Tony. I'm the senior solution expert at the TestGear and have around 5 years of experience to work with the high-tech companies in IT sphere. And today we're attend here, arrange that meeting for you, for helping you share someday with you and, make small talk.
Great. Thank you so much, Tony, for joining us today. Okay, so let's first start by discussing the scope of today's webinar. Now, the key takeaway would be some really effective ways and process improvement points to transform your test automation management. We would be discussing continuous testing, its benefit, followed by test management. Then we will move towards test automation management, its varied role and responsibilities, followed by a live demo of TestGear tools and Ask Me Anything session from me and Tony. Great. So let's start with something called continuous testing. Now, what does this complex term mean? In the simplest of meanings, it is a practice that involves testing at every stage of your software development lifecycle. Yes, it is as simple as that. The goal of continuous testing is to test early and test often, as many times as we can. Continuous testing not only involves the QA team, but all the stakeholders in the entire SDLC pipeline, including your business, product, design team, development team, DevOps, of course, the QA team, and even the operations team. So ultimately, we as quality engineers play the role of enablers in this practice of continuous testing from design to deployment and maybe post-deployment. And what makes our job much easier to enable different teams in this practice is test automation, process automation, and tooling. Now, what do you think are the benefits of continuous testing? So at the very first, continuous testing helps us to provide early feedback. Now, as we know, this early feedback costs us a lot lesser to fix these bugs at the earlier stages as compared to later stages of SDLC. It helps us to boost the DevOps pipeline by integrating automated tests at different phases of our CI and CD pipelines. Now, as I always say, without automated test, DevOps pipeline is just a faster and organized way to break production. Yes, that is the impact of our automated tests. So, continuous testing helps in providing that reliability and that important aspect of testing in our CI and CD pipelines. Another objective of this practice is to achieve faster software delivery and higher stability and production quality. Now, one byproduct or a side effect of continuous testing is continuous collaboration. Yes, you heard it right. Collaboration with cross-functional teams which makes us practice the core principle of agile methodology, that is, people and interaction over processes. Now, after continuous testing, let's move towards something known as test management. Now, test management is again a complex term, but if we discuss it in layman terms, it is the practice of closely managing and monitoring testing activities to ensure that all the available resources are being focused on the high risk and important areas of software development. Now, the test management process can be divided into two main parts or categories, which is planning and execution. Now, the planning part consists of risk analysis, test estimations, test planning, test strategizing, and test organization. Whereas the execution is more dynamic and practical part, which controls test monitoring, issue management, test report, evaluation, analytical reports, historical data, etc. Now, the test management process is very broad, as you can see on your screen, and effort intensive, as it requires a lot of time and resources to plan out and execute. But fortunately, there is a way to make this entire process much organized and easier. And it is possible by using a single centralized test management tools across the organization for all the teams that can help to keep everything in order and let the processes flow smoothly. Now, this single centralized test management tool should provide good traceability, intuitive UI, analytical metrics, dashboard options, while providing easy integration with open source platforms or tools that you might already be using in your company and team. Now, one important part of test management is test automation management, which has become all the way more important in recent years given the increased focus on agile methodologies and our shift towards automation, especially in sprint automation in today's fast moving and competitive industry. Now, this problem basically consists of 5W and 1H. That is what, why, who, when, where, and how of automation. Like what tools to select for our automation execution and management, how to orchestrate our automation runs, basically how to launch the automation test or suites, how to categorize and where to store all my automation results, and maybe prepare a dashboard based on the historical data, or maybe how to calculate my automation coverage metrics, right? So these questions really bother us in our day-to-day lives, and some effective tooling and processes can really help us make these smoother. So we should really make an informed choice while choosing a tool for our team and organization, because this decision can really help in achieving the desired vision and goals at both the team and the org level. As they correctly say, having the right tools and perspective can make a really big difference in everyone's productivity, including yours. Right. So let's now deep dive into some practical tooling and demo with Tony and check the 3 effective ways on how TestGear can make our test automation management much easier and smoother.
Thank you, Sahil.
Sure, Tony, and welcome once again.
Yeah, sure. No, I really like that speech. Thank you. Like, by the way, we already have one question, but guys, let's wait a little bit to the end of the webinar and we will reply for all of your questions. But thank you. I see it. I already read it. I already think about it.
Great. So, Tony, in my personal experience of being a test manager and a test lead, I have felt this stress of continuously planning to optimize my team's test automation management efforts, along with accelerating the usage of automation across the organization. So, can you first please show us how TestGear can help us in overcoming this pain area for most of the test leadership?
Yeah, sure. That I often hear about that problem, by the way. Yeah, so I started to share in my screen. Please tell me, then you will be able to see it.
Specifically.
You see it, yeah?
Yeah.
Great. So go to the Autotest tabs. So again, as Sahil already said, that's the first way how you can really enhance and make easier and clarity about your automation work, how it work, why it work, which one, particular configuration or parameters this work. So that's, as an example, the Autotest card. Autotest card as well, that's, that's the entity who repeat the steps of your autotests. So yeah, and we're allowed to create this Autotest card with the different step or just the name. Then you integrate the product with your CI/CD as a rule, because all of us execute autotests into the CI/CD, and we need to integrate with it. Count this data, calculate this data, find the flag autotests or unflag autotests. So that's the big problem. But here again, you can create autotest card, and then as I show you right now, by just 2 clicks, and with this configuration, what I choose here, or you can choose and procure your own configuration, launch it, and that's it. And you see, we create a new test run. So test run, that's obviously the place where we unite the results to provide you and allow you work with the different results which we have. For an example, we have, let it be that test run, and you see here 2 pie charts. That's pie charts responsible for results, and that's one for the reason of results of your auto tests. Like, as an example, look here. We see results by steps, which allow you to find the particular step where it's dropped, what functions is responsible for the detection, which one responsible body from the code or CI/CD side you have, majority, again, based on what I hear, based on my experience, and also maybe you can advise me some more, Sahil, because I have a lot of experience in that. Majority of auto testers and just testers have a big problem to find the tail, where it's going on, like what's going on. But here you can analyze all of the data per one single test entity, and you don't need to go to your IDEA tool, to CI/CD tool. You can find all of that here. That's the first way how you can execute, how you can analyze, and then you can specify the reason, like why your test was dropped. Here you can find the reasons, like that's a product, that's how to test, that's infrastructure, or that's not a defect, but will allow you to set the different reasons, because in a real life it's auto test spots that don't mean it's a good auto test. Maybe he just skipped some functions. So yeah, like that, I guess. Isa asks on your question, so he'll maybe some more.
Yeah, I think that solves the challenge pretty much, because I'm really happy to see at least the presence of automation test or auto test in a test management tool. I haven't seen in my personal experience, and I think that's a really good way to optimize our test automation management efforts from a single place or a single tool. I also like the way this tool takes leverage on the existing automation tools and provide a way to manage everything almost from a single place. Right, that solves most of the problem. So I have faced this practical scenario where we need to execute a big test plan with part manual and part automated test cases. Suppose 60% automated and 40% manual test cases. Can you share if it's possible to launch the automated cases of my test plan through TestGear only without going to, say, any external tool or any IDE?
Yeah, so you mean execute manual case and auto test to a single space, like Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly the next way how you can enhance your auto test. So also, TestGear provides you to cover your manual cases by Autotest cards. So imagine you have like thousands of different test entities. You go through it, you need to enhance it, improve it, work with different versions, and then you cover it by Autotest, and then you start your executions. I can show you like test plan example here. First of all, the different type, is it automated or not? And yes, you can cover it by auto tests, and pretty easy. Like you see how let I just reset all of that results by a few buttons. Then I execute my auto tests, and that's it. My webhook is working, all of the data flying to CI/CD, and I will receive it through the API with all results, and I always able to analyze it. And I see which one I not started. I need to go there, set results, work on it, or I can just cover it by Autotest and make it automatically per one space.
Great. And so I don't need to go to any other tool or maybe IDE to run these. Like it is all controlled by TestGear.
Yeah, precisely.
That's great. I think this is kind of again a really smooth and easy way to control my test automation launches and complex test plans. Right. We have a question here from our friend Gunesh, and regarding the error categories, right? And based on my last company's experience also, after all the automation tests are launched, we generally used to put down all our automation failures and errors into some predefined categories or buckets, for future action points. So is it also possible to somehow categorize or put my automation failures into some buckets after I run my automation through TestGear?
Yeah, I get it. Like regular expression. By the way, yes, you can do it into the top categories here. You are able, again, let's jump back for a second. Here you can specify the reason. And here, as an example, you can add more reasons to that specifically focus, like for what you use it, which one the product, like is it auto test defect or infrastructure or the product defect. And here you can add more different reasons, like auto test was dropped because that and that and that, a lot of different reasons. And per each that reason, you are able to add the regular expressions like that. And as a rule, regular expressions based on the responsible body from the idea or code side where you have the defect, what I show you in the Autotest card, you need to put it here. And if next time your Autotest was dropped with the same error, it will work automatically, and you don't need to, again, waste your time to go there, find results, sit and thinking about like why it dropped. That will work automatically, and you will see all the results into the test run based on that regular expressions and that result, like reason of result.
That's great. I think we have a follow-up question from Jean. I hope it is already solved, but I'll just read out the question for everyone. So Jean says, hello from Paris. Is it possible to create separate error categories for the auto test? We use our own symbols.
Yeah, sure. That's exactly what I show. Like you have you have different categories of your results, and per each that category you can prepare different results. Like it's dropped because the test don't have let it be the comma at the end of function, and it dropped because IDE don't see the comma, or you don't have the button, or you don't write the function. You can specify all of that here, and then I can show you how to work. And then you go, let it be that test run. That's exactly that test run. What will launch from the Autotest, and here you can choose it, the different categories of your results. And again, if you prepare the regular expression, it will work automatically without your focuses on it. You can go and spend your time on, I know, chill or make a cup of tea or something like that.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Jean, for the question. And
Yeah,
I
that's a
must
good
say,
one.
yeah, and I must say that this feature will be really useful for all the test leads and managers to save a lot of time, while managing the flaky test results. Great. So, Tony, I have seen or used some tools which provide ready to use client libraries for easy integration into the tool.
Mm-hmm.
So do you also provide some ready to use libraries which we can integrate as a plugin into our existing test automation frameworks?
Yeah, sure. Moreover, you can go to the our GitHub profile here. We already have 10 public repositories that include Java, JUnit, Cucumber, JUnit 4.5, Python, robot framework. We also have .NET clients. We have the importers. You can download use of all of that because per each that client library we include the examples, which one you can use to, just playing with it, playing around the configuration and the platform. So yeah, all of that is free. So you can go download and trial, like example, the trial period. And moreover, I'm going to show you my own project into the pie chart, what I have, how it, as an example, how it works. Like that's the annotation. So annotation allow you to, first of all, cover your code. And then after you execute your auto tests, we set all of that result directly to the TestGear via annotation, because annotation equal API methods. And you will set all of the results. I can show you that, not a problem. And not will take a lot of time, because really that's really easy. Like here, I will send new results. I have around 8 auto tests as far as I remember here. And I need to write the comment like test minus test year. Execute it. It's starting. We see how it's going. And let's wait a little bit. Yeah, that's it. I have, exactly 8 results. And here I have my new test run. So I don't need to, again, waste my time to prepare something else. We see the time exactly right now. I can open it. I can analyze all of that. I can prepare the test card by the client's libraries and work with parameters, configurations. Yeah, like easy. And if you wanted to, figure out how it works, you can use our examples in the client libraries, because we prepare like 4 to 5 auto tests per each client library to you just playing with it.
That's awesome. I think that seems an easy integration with your ready-to-use client libraries, and the examples that you guys have written will really help us to integrate into our existing frameworks without much efforts. By the way, we have some of our friends really loving the color scheme. So a shout out to the lovely color scheme and the design.
Thanks.
On the tool. Great. So moving forward, during the walking through the previous features, I was thinking about my current team's automation pipeline. So in our daily automation routine, we do launch our automation suites in an automated manner. For example, using a cron-based pattern, say once every morning or twice every day, or maybe a pull request merge trigger. That is whenever a developer merge any pull request into the main branch. So does TestGear provide us with that capability for automated triggers of our automation suite?
Yeah, by the way, the third way, 3 ways, by the way, how you can enhance your auto test. That's a public API. So in Autotest tabs here, you can find the button API documentation. Click on it and you go through our Swagger where we collect all of the data. Like by the highlights, auto tests, you will always able go here, find different methods like link create, build link, schedule test runs, work with different work items, work item equal work entity like test case or checklist. You can schedule test runs by different data, configuration, time. You can set the data from CI/CD to the TestGear to collect all of that into the single place. You can start, stop, complete, work with the status of the test run. You can work with the projects, as an example, like, schedule projects, schedule autotests, or divide it by different entities or different places where you use it, export, import, all of this is available. And yeah, all what you need to do, just go to the TestGear Autotests. Here you will find this button, and then you need just authorize your API secret key. You can get it from your user profile, and then you can use all of the files. Yes, every time, every day, schedule whatever you need.
Great. I think you have not left any loose ends, and this looks like a complete solution, end-to-end solution for
Thank you.
automation and test management. Great. So Tony, those are really useful features for every one of us. But based on my personal experience, once we run the automation, collect the results, it is a big challenge afterwards to refer to the historical data of my automation and then prepare analytical reports out of that data, maybe some metrics, say automation coverage, to share with different stakeholders or senior management, to show the ROI of my automation. So if you understand the use case, can you share how TestGear can help me in this specific problem area of test management?
Yeah, sure. First of all, you can go, for example, to the test plans reports here and find the data like how much results you have by process, by users, how many defects you've created and prepare. Like I see the progress and process of the defects, how much results by history you have. You can export this, like print to the PDF or export to Excel as file, or moreover than that is the dashboards, because the test plans, that's like the little report about your iteration of the test run. But in the dashboard, you can compare all of your data, what you have into the TestGear. As an example, you see how many different chart types we have here. You can set this data by the different source type, like based on your experience against Sahil, like results, tests, or auto tests by configuration statuses, automation type. Then after you prepare it, like you can move it by the drag and drop. That's unlimited numbers of widget per each dashboard. So again, you can prepare whatever you need. Then each of that widget have the filters. If you need to, find the seldom data, like you seldom configuration, or you chasing the goal, like to understand all about and create clarity about one configuration, okay, you can do it. That's not a problem. By different test plans, project date, calendar date. As an example, I can show you that 6 pie charts here. You see each of them have the filters. You can filter in by the different dates. You can filter in by the different parameters and data what we include on that widget. Then, for example, you can compare the different test plans, test runs results, how much you have, which one result you have here, like customize it, whatever you need, again, by different attributes. And an example, like I'm going to compare the test runs and I see I find 64 files results here. So I can click on it and go directly to the test run and start my analyze work on it and like what exactly happened in here. You have to figure it out. And I thought I first most useful for our audience be first of all deaths, because in that widget you are able to find how many results, which particular, or again with this particular section you have. Like I see I have 23 defects here. I can go and choose like I need not automated, only automated, different type, project, sections, configurations, tags, priority, all of that you can customize. Then, for example, you want to build transparency about how many manual cases you covered by Autotest, so you're also able to provide that type of widget. Like you see how many automated case, how much not automated, and the % symbol here to count all of the numbers and go with it, bring it to your colleagues, or understand like how it work, which one you need to use, how many case you need to cover, but Autotest how many to still to cover. And the next, I think that's really be useful for you too. Like you have your own dashboards where you can compare different data. As I have few examples by users and priorities and configuration status here. So you can compare different projects, different, again, configurations, team users, team members, test plans. You can compare it with to each other and understand where you have some results, some problems, or maybe something more than that, like, build the real clarity about the results by different entities we use. Yeah, that's it, I guess.
That's really colorful and intuitive. Can help many of us to really impress senior management with lots of colorful graphs and historical and analytical data. But I'm very excited to use these dashboards with such cool widgets and metrics. Definitely, I think would help most of the test leadership in sharing the reports with the management to show our ROI and, again, analytical metrics. Great. So I'm sure that TestGear has loads of other exciting features, but in the interest of time, we have to stop here as far as the TestGear features are concerned. But now, what do I have to do if I want to try out this tool and play with all these features, or maybe book a demo with your solution team?
Yeah, I get it. So pretty easy. You just need to attend our site. Here you can find Start for free, and we have free trial for 2 weeks. So all the functions what I show you included in the trial, you're always able to go and find it and try to work with it. Again, if you have like any questions, you can write directly to me in my LinkedIn profile or to us, like to team, to comment. You can like book a demo, or you also can contact us, contact our support, like any question what you have, or maybe you have some help, you need some help. We're always available every time around the clock, and yes, like pretty easy. Just testgear.io and here our site. Please attend it. We're waiting for you. Always. Like, Barrett, your question.
Great. I think I really like the tech support part that you added. That is very important as far as techies are concerned.
Yeah.
We really need post sales support. So thank you for adding
reply
that.
Like a lot of our clients write me directly to the mail, and I like every day reply. So yeah, that's not a problem. We're always available and always open for every question, every even requirement or domain if you have, and you want to just make it clear for yourself. Yeah, why not?
Great. So I think with that we can move to some question answers, and I think we have a lot of questions in the chat box, so I'll take them one by one, and if there are anything related to the tool,
give me a second, I will open the chat.
So we have a question from Patrick. Hey Patrick, it says, nice tool. Can Tony show us how we can compare different results? Can we compare runs between
results? Yeah, sure. So as I showed previously, you can compare by different projects. As an example, so you have project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 where you're a sourcer, or you just have a lot of different data. So all what you need to do, just, for example, go in your own dashboards, or you choose the project dashboards here. And if by the tops, you can compare test plans results or test run results to each other and find how many results we have per each configuration, dashboard, or project. Or for example, I choose the all time, and you see how much we have different data. And we can compare it. If I move my mouse on it, I will find how many results I have by the %. And that's like depends on your needs. You can prepare the different type of chart type, like that can be the pie chart, and you compare the different results or different test plans, what you execute by results to each server, or you can prepare your own dashboards and compare these results.
Nice, thank you. So we have a question from Mark that says, is there a way to restart only the failed auto test and analyze them separately? It's like the retry feature that Mark is asking.
Yeah, I get it. Like rerun your fault auto test.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. That's pretty easy. Like as I showed you at the previous time, all you need to do is just include the filter. That's it. If you need, you also can filter by autotest here. Choose results. You see failed. I have 10. Launch it. That's it. I will have an average test run. We see here, and I can go through it, analyze, or again use my regular expressions. Yeah, you're always able to do it through the test plans, autotest cards, or just API methods. So yeah.
That's good. That's a really useful feature again, as far as automation is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a question from Vedshri. She says, is there a way to send the execution summary, that is the pass-fail count for each run via email? Any email plugin of that sort available with TestGear?
About the email plugins. We have, you know what we have? We have the webhooks about the change test plan status. So yeah, you can customize the webhook and, for example, integrate with, WhatsApp or Slack and send data there. Like, Alex, we started in the test run. Join to us. Let's do it together. About the results, not yet, but we're working on it. Yes, we wanted to include it, but for now, you already can go and integrate the bot chat notification with your chats to, set the notifications about like Alex. You will have a lot of, and more. Moreover than that, you can mention the Alex in the platform directly here. Like I can find myself, like Tony, and write a message, click enter, and I will receive that notification here directly to the TestGear. So I don't need to, split my mind by the different programs or process. You can combine all that and notify your users, your team members. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the webhook feature that you showed us is really useful, and you really make the customization really easy as far as post automation.
We use it as well in our regression testing, by the way. Yeah, when we have regress, because we tested our product on our product. Yeah, that's how we enhance it. So and here for example, we use it for Slack. When we start to new test plan about the regression testing, we send us notifications. Yeah, you can get all of that. That's really useful.
Great. So this one question from Rahul. Hi Rahul. It says, can multiple auto tests be tied to a single test, or only one auto test at a time?
You can do it one-to-one, or you can set the multiple auto test to one case. Okay, I will show you the example. Like in the Autotest card, first of all, you have the tab new related test case and related test cases. Which one test cases you already linked to your Autotest. And as you see, I linked 2 different cases, so that's not a problem. You can link many to many or one to many, that depends on your needs. And then you execute that type of entity. I will show you an example with the test plan because that's pretty easy. Yeah, like here. To that case, I linked 3 different auto tests. And you see, like it's rerunning. I will receive the new results here. I see by different test runs here. And by the way, I linked 3 auto tests, but one of them is dropped. That the most reason is failed because one of them is dropped. So my sequences is broken. And here I can find all my data, like the trace log, the message, all results, why you drop, which one reason, what is happening, this message, and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. So here's a question. Is there a community edition if we want to try our hands on the tool?
You mean idea or you about TestGear? I don't get it.
TestGear. TestGear. So if we have to use TestGear, maybe for a freemium model, or for some personal project. So how do we use that?
I get it.
Not for professional, but for community edition. Yeah.
I guess no, because we have the trial period for 2 weeks. So you are able to, I'm going to show you it. That's not a problem. Just give me a second. I will show you the cloud. Here you can prepare the different workspaces. Like, let me go to create a new one. Number for users. Now give me a second. I will go to our, and by the way, I show you how to work the cloud. So, okay. Okay, and using not that. Okay. No. I don't remember my password. Sorry for that. But yeah, you can. Yeah, you can create 3 different workspaces. Each that workspace have 2 weeks. Like you can play with it 2 weeks. That's not a problem. But that's not a free. Yeah, but reach us so we can speak about it. I guess like we have the sales department, and we can reach us and we can talk. Like,
Great. So the next question by Vignesh says, "Hey Tony, how to fetch 1 week test automation results to compare the repeated failures?" I think he wants to fetch the last 1 week's automation results and compare for repeated failures.
I get it. Okay. Yeah, you can do it. For example, that can be, we just need to prepare different type of widgets, by the way. And here you can use, for example, just day, which one is good today, or choose, the calendar, because we also allow you to work with the calendar. Yes, like January, you see December 2022, and you can compare the different data by date, different dates. And then you, for example, can include the report about the results in the pie chart. So yeah, you can play with the dashboards and build it. That's not a problem.
Great. So next question from Sophia. She says, can you cross-refer to test? That is, can you recall the results from test 1 to utilize in test step 5? I think, is this a class as dependency in your systems? I think Sophia here wants to see how much reusable the tests are, or a component.
Yeah.
She wants to reuse the components from one test to another.
Yes, you can do it. And also you can do it, for example, by parameters, because we also provide to work with parameters, different data. And for example, you don't need to create any duplicates or something, stuff like that. And you can compare your parameters into the test with the Autotest or test entity or different configuration. And for example, you can include it into the test body or Autotest body. Again, it depends on your needs. Yeah, and here you say, like, I use different configurations, different parameters. I have the different iterations, and I can link it with Autotest or include it into Autotest and execute it and reuse it to a different step. Yeah, sure. Or you can use configurations as well. Like that's a lot of different ways you can do it.
Great. I think we can take last 2 questions. So one is from Vidshri. Can we connect existing Azure pipelines to TestGear?
Connect existing Azure pipelines to the TestGear. If I understand it correctly, yes, because, for example, to another project, I connect to the Azure, and I choose the different issues and different projects from Azure side, and I can create defects directly to the Azure. Or if it depends on the Autotest, yes, you also can do it, because And the demo booth, I use the GitLab connection and Jenkins connection, but as well, we can connect with any CI/CD tool because all we need is the public API. Because it worked through the public API and we receive it back through the public API. So yeah, that's not a problem.
Great. I think we have gone through most of the questions and we are also up the time. So thank you so much, Tony, for this wonderful walkthrough and answering all the
Thank you
questions,
too.
all the doubts.